Hi guys, Ivan and Susan here again from Vloggers on the Loose. Beautiful Swan River over there. Guess where we are? I haven't got a clue where we are. But buyer beware. Buyer beware. There's new social housing hubs being built throughout Perth suburbs. Where are these suburbs? Where are these hubs? We're about to tell you guys. You don't have to beware, I suppose, because if these people in social housing behave themselves, then we don't have to be aware. But we're going to tell you beware, just be careful, because I think it's in the DNA of some people. They just like to cause trouble where they live and they get cheap rent, but they just like to cause issues. So buyer beware. New social housing developments being built throughout Perth. One of the state's biggest social and affordable housing works programs is being released to the market, seeking builders to deliver more than 1,000 new homes adjacent to new Metronet stations. So that's where they're building them, guys, around the Metronet stations. So this government, the Labor government, has completed, or not completed, but built a lot of railway in Perth at the moment, and new stations everywhere. So now they've decided to build social housing near to these stations. Now I don't think that that's a good idea, because all these people, the government thinks it's a good idea because it's close to the train for these people to get around, but these people do get around too much probably. And then what happens is they open the trains and the buses and they go around to different suburbs and they cause issues. And how many times have you heard a guy from Gosnells has ended up in Butler, for instance, and bashed someone senseless because he's hopped on the train and, shall we say, train surfed it all the way. I know train surfing is when you hop on top of the train, on the roof of the train, but let's call it train surfing. And he's train surfed all the way from Gosnells to Butler just to cause issues. So that's my issue with all these things, guys, building these social housing around train stations. I don't think it's a good idea, but anyway, that's what the government has decided. What a beautiful day we are in Perth. Look at this nice Swan River. So anyway, we'll get back to the video, guys. The program includes 14 build-to-rent developments, which will deliver 1,145 new homes, comprising approximately 80% affordable and 20% social housing. The developments range from 3 stories to 9 stories, with around half being located adjacent to new Metronet train stations. The tender is part of a landmark agreement between the Cook, that's our premier in the state, Roger Cook, the Cook and Albanese Labor governments. Anthony Albanese is our Prime Minister for all those people watching from overseas, and closes on the 3rd of June 2025. The buildings will be delivered to a minimum of silver. I can't see because I'm right in the shade here, guys. The buildings will be delivered to a minimum of silver livable under the National Livable Housing Design Guidelines and the 7-star energy rating and thermal efficiency ratings. So all that sounds pretty good. Okay, all the ratings are in there, all the thermal ratings, energy ratings, all that type of thing. Sounds all good. The developments are being delivered in 2 stages. Stage 1 includes 6 projects with initial construction due to start in 2026 Now guys, this is where it gets interesting. That's why the headline is buyer beware, because from 2026 they will be starting to build in the following suburbs. The first suburb is Rollout, and the median house price over there is 670,000 Australian dollars, and Rollout's 37 kilometres south of the Perth CBD. The second suburb where there's Homes West housing or social housing is going to be built is a suburb called Woodbridge, and the median house price in Woodbridge is 820,000 Australian dollars, 15.4 kilometres east of the Perth CBD. And the next one is quite an expensive suburb. We have done a video on this suburb. We've done them on all these suburbs, by the way. Whitegum Valley. The median house price over there is 1,340,000 Australian dollars. And now Whitegum Valley, a few of these are not on the train line, which Whitegum Valley isn't. 20 k's from the Perth CBD. Close to Fremantle, by the way, Whitegum Valley. The next suburb is Rivervale, and the median house price over there in Rivervale median house price in Rivervale is 835,000 Australian dollars, guys, and Rivervale is close to the Perth CBD, 6.3 kilometres from the Perth CBD. The next one has just got themselves a brand new train station, and it's probably going to be wrecked when the social housing goes in there. It's a suburb called Allenbrook, with a median house price being 680,000 Australian dollars. They might have to employ some more police in that police station there in Allenbrook, because I can see a few issues happening out there when this starts. 27 k's from the Perth CBD, guys, Allenbrook. And the next suburb is Redcliffe. Median house price over there, 745,000 Australian dollars, and that suburb is 10 kilometres from the Perth CBD. What do you think of this little area? This little spot that we found is just off the Great Eastern Highway. I think it's the Rivervale area or Belmont sort of area, I'm not sure. We just spotted it and we thought we'd go in there and film. Okay, stage 2, guys. Stage 2 includes 8 further projects located in the following suburbs. So stage 2 will be happening after stage 1, after all those suburbs I just read out to you. So stage 2, the first suburb in stage 2 is Cannington. Now most of these ones are on the line, on the train line. So the first suburb there is Cannington. Median house price in Cannington is 611,000 Australian dollars. And Cannington's only 11.5 kilometres from the Perth CBD southern suburb. The next one is Subiaco. And the median house price out there in Subiaco, guys, is pretty huge. 1,970,000 Australian dollars. And Subiaco is 4 kilometres from the Perth CBD. The next station, or the next suburb, guys, is Ballajura. Now you might have heard, it's been in the news that train station out there was going to be called Malaga, but the government's changed it to Ballajura. So now it's called Ballajura train station, and the median house price over there in Ballajura is 750,000 Australian dollars. We're just worming our way through a little walkway over here, right on the banks of the river, of the Swan River there, guys. So I'll have to watch where I'm walking and read at the same time. Okay, the next suburb is Butler, and the median house price out there in Butler is 670,000 Australian dollars. Butler is 40 kilometres north of the Perth CBD. The next suburb, where these social housing is going to be built in stage 2, which will be after stage 1, and stage 1 is only going to be starting in 2026, so I don't know when stage 2 is going to start. Maybe a few years after stage 1, see how things go first. see if the government's done the right thing. The next suburb's Kelmscott, guys. The median house price there is 596,000 Australian. Not fairly reasonable out there in Kelmscott still. 28.3 kilometres from the Perth CBD. And the next one is Bassendean, and the median house price there is 820,000 Australian dollars. Only 11 kilometres from the Perth CBD, guys. And the next one's an old favourite of everyone, Midland. Midland's median house price is 565,000 Australian dollars. Reasonably priced out there. 19 kilometres northeast of the Perth CBD is Midland. So only seven suburbs are listed here. So we're assuming that one of the suburbs will have 2 of the developments. We're not sure which one it is. There you go, guys. That's it for this video on social housing and where it's all going to be built in Perth. What do you guys think? It's an interesting topic, because if you've seen one of our videos on Inglewood, you would know that they've put some, the government's bought a block of flats over there in Inglewood, and they filled it up with social housing tenants, and there's been massive issues out there. How will all these new projects go, especially when they're building them brand new with all these flash energy ratings and all sorts of stuff? How long will all that last in the building? Let's hope these tenants use their brain, because they are getting cheap rent, and look after the place. Take some pride in your dwelling that you are getting for a reasonable price from the government. Okay guys, we're going to wrap it up over here. Oh, we might go over there underneath this little sheltered area here. Leads to a little gazebo over there. So we'll wrap it up over here, guys. Let us know your thoughts on social housing hubs around Perth. It's going to start in 2026, so not long away, 1 year away. And then stage 2 will follow. Give us your comments. Leave some good comments, debatable comments. We'll talk about all this. And hopefully you enjoyed this video. And don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Give it a thumbs up. And we'll see you in the next one.